Good morning. Thanks for joining us on the press. Yes, my name is Anire. Binitie. It is always a pleasure, wonderful, fantastic, beautiful being with you on the press, reaching you live from Abuja City. Yes, the show is the same Monday to Friday, and today promises to be really interesting and engaging. We'll do the usuals that we do on the show. Start with our weather report, go on to the front pages of the papers, take a break, come back, introduce our guests, start the discussion, then of course open the phone line so you can call in and have your say on our discussion in the morning before we round up somewhere before 11 a.m. All right, so make sure you're sitting very comfortably wherever you're watching the show, holding your phones ready. When you see the phone lines on your screen, you can call in and be part of the discussion. Today, I'm expecting two guests, and our topics are very apt for the moment. I know you will be very interested, and I expect those calls to come in today like never before. All right, let us start on now with our weather report this morning. And yes, I am starting from Edo State. Edo this morning is going to be mostly cloudy, with highs at 30 degrees Celsius and lows at 22. Partly cloudy conditions are expected around 13 hours, which is like 1 p.m. Wind gusts are up to 5 miles per hour. Meanwhile, it started at 23 degrees Celsius this early morning, and by 8 a.m. it was 24, and right about now, 9 a.m., it's 25 degrees Celsius. It is expected to rise to 26 by 10 a.m., 27 by 11 a.m., and 28 degrees Celsius by 12 p.m. All right, let us move on now to Bayelsa. Bayelsa is partly cloudy today. Cloudy conditions expected around 11 a.m. with wind gusts up to 6 miles per hour. Meanwhile, highs will be at 30 degrees Celsius and lows at 23 degrees Celsius. Bayelsa is going to be sunny. You can see the sun peeking out. Started early this morning at 23 degrees Celsius. The sun came out early. By 8 a.m. it was 24, 9 a.m. around now it was 25 degrees Celsius. It is expected to rise to 27 degrees Celsius by 11 a.m., 28 degrees, and by 12 p.m., 29 degrees. I know we have for Delta State is not popping up here, but once I have Delta, I will give it to you. Let's move on now to Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt is going to be partly cloudy. The conditions will continue all day with wind gusts up to 5 miles per hour. Port Harcourt started at 23 degrees Celsius. You can see the sun in Port Harcourt this morning. By 8 a.m. it was 24 degrees Celsius. By 9 a.m. around now it's 25 degrees Celsius. However, it's expected to rise by 10 a.m. to 27 degrees Celsius, and by 11, 28 degrees Celsius, and by 12, 29. And I expect it will just keep going on and on like that. Highs at 30 degrees Celsius and lows at 23 degrees Celsius. All right, let's move on to Enugu. Enugu this morning. Enugu started at 23 degrees Celsius, retained same at 8 a.m. However, about now, in Enugu, it is 25 degrees Celsius. You can see the sun peeking out from the clouds there. By 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 26 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 27 degrees, and by 12 p.m., 28. Partly cloudy conditions are expected around now. You can actually see the sun there with wind gusts up to 11 miles per hour. Highs at 29 degrees Celsius and lows at 22 degrees Celsius. Away from Enugu, let us take a peek at Imo. Imo this morning is going to be mostly cloudy with highs at 30 degrees Celsius and lows at 23. Partly cloudy conditions are expected around now with wind gusts up to 7 miles per hour. Imo started at 23 degrees Celsius, maintained same at 8 a.m., 23, but right about now in Imo, it is 25 degrees Celsius. You can see the sun peeking out from the sky there. Of course, by 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 26 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 27 degrees, and by 12 p.m., 28 degrees Celsius. All right, let me quickly look for Delta and Lagos. All right, we're right there. So we're coming back to Delta. Delta started at 23 degrees Celsius and rose to 24 degrees Celsius by 8 a.m. At 9 a.m. about now, it is 25 degrees Celsius. However, by 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 27 degrees Celsius. You can see the sun peeking out of the clouds there. By 11 a.m., 28 degrees Celsius, and by 12 p.m., 29 degrees Celsius. Delta is going to be partly cloudy, and it's expected around 10 a.m. wind gusts are up to 4 miles per hour. Away from Delta, let us take a look at Lagos. Lagos started very sunny today at 24 degrees Celsius. By 8 a.m., it was also 24 degrees, maintaining that status. However, around now, it is 25 degrees Celsius in Lagos, and by 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 26 degrees Celsius, 11 a.m., 27, and 12 p.m., 28. Cloudy conditions are expected around now, with wind gusts up to 6 miles per hour. Now, highs are 28 degrees and lows at 24. We have more weather for you as we take a look at Benue. Let's take a look at Benue this morning. Benue is going to be partly cloudy around 12 p.m. with wind gusts up to 4 miles per hour. Highs will be at 30 degrees Celsius and lows at 22 degrees. However, it started at 23 degrees, rose to 24 around 8 a.m. About now, it is 25 degrees Celsius. By 10 a.m., it's expected to rise to 27 degrees. By 11, 28 degrees, and by 12 p.m., 29. I expect that it gets hotter from 12 p.m. in Benue. Away from Benue, let us take a look at Jos. Jos this morning started at 18 degrees Celsius. You can see the sun is really sunny. At 8 a.m., it was 19 degrees. At 9 a.m., right about now, it is 21 degrees Celsius. By 10 a.m., is expected to rise to 22 degrees Celsius. By 11 a.m., 24 degrees Celsius, maintaining same at 12 p.m. Meanwhile, rainy conditions are expected around 16:00 hour. That is around 5 p.m. in the evening. Wind gusts are up to 13 miles per hour. Highs at 25 degrees Celsius and lows at 17. Okay, let us take a look at Kaduna. Kaduna this morning. Kaduna started at 21 degrees Celsius, rose to 22 at 8 a.m. About now, it is 23 degrees Celsius, which is 9 a.m. By 10 a.m., is expected to rise to 25 degrees Celsius. By 11, 26 degrees Celsius, and by 12 p.m., 27 degrees Celsius. Rainy conditions are expected around 16:00 hours. Wind gusts are up to 8 miles per hour. Highs at 27 degrees and lows at 20 degrees. All right, I know we have Kano somewhere around here. Yes, Kano is mostly sunny today. Kano never disappoints. My dear old Kano never disappoints. Partly cloudy conditions are expected around 10 a.m. Wind gusts are up to 13 miles per hour. Kano started at 22 degrees this morning. You can see the sun. You can see the sun. At 8 a.m., it was 23 degrees Celsius. By 9 around now, it is 24 degrees Celsius. It's expected to rise to 26 by 10 a.m., 28 at 11, and 29 degrees at 12. Highs will be at 30 degrees and lows at 21. Okay, there you have it, our weather report today. If your city was mentioned, as usual, you know what to do. I didn't give for Abuja. Oh, I beg your pardon. Let me give for Abuja. We can't stop today without giving you the weather report for Abuja. Abuja just popped up, so let me bring it up. Now, Abuja started at 22 degrees Celsius. It was 23 at 8 a.m. Believe me, I left my house with my glasses on. At 9 a.m., right about now, it is 24 degrees Celsius. 10 a.m. is expected to rise to 25 degrees Celsius. 11 a.m., 26 degrees Celsius. And by 12 p.m., the sun is out again at 27 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, rainy conditions are expected around 16:00 hours. Highs at 28 degrees Celsius and lows at 21 degrees Celsius. If it doesn't rain in Abuja a day, then there's something wrong. I tell you. Okay, that is how we start the show with our weather report this morning. Again, if your city was mentioned, you know what to do. Make sure you prepare before you leave the house if you haven't left the house. And of course, wherever you are, make sure you are, you take care of yourself weather-wise so you are not caught unawares. All right, let us go now to the front pages of our papers. And this morning, I am starting with the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper says, new licensing charges on settled port operators, 3.3 trillion naira investment. We're starting on business with the Guardian. Now, above that screaming headline, Osun local government workers allege bid to hijack council funds. That is not good if there's any truth to that. You have more of that read on page 7 of The Guardian. Presidential ticket, we're under pressure to zone, says ADC. Page 3. Overtime import cargoes worth 12.3 billion naira lying idle at ports. I'll take that again. Overtime import cargoes worth 12.3 billion naira lying idle at ports. More of that read on page 3. The economy is biting, and when you get stories like this, you automatically understand what the problem is or the problems are, which is of course money, in times like this. So when I see stories like this, I am not too shocked with it or rattled, because again, we all know what the economy is saying. But this is a huge sum of money, 12.3 billion naira lying idle. That is commodity goods imported by Nigerians who are unable to clear them. That's a lot, I tell you. Okay, moving on politics. APC, PDP, and NPP kick alleged fraud in Oyo, Kaduna, Kano by-elections. NCC accuses high-profile Nigerians of worsening illegal SIM registration. US-UK commend Nigeria for arresting terrorist leaders. My journey to throne bumpy but guided by God, says Ladoja. Guild of Editors bemoan complex challenges facing Nigeria. Agric Minister to share insights on export-driven economy at First Bank Conference. All right, that is the front page of The Guardian this morning. As we move on to more front pages. Away from The Guardian, let us take a look at The Punch. The Punch newspaper this morning says federal government vows equal response as U.S. tightens visa rules. The 123 riders says embassy now requires a 5-year social media history for visa applicants. U.S. government revokes 6,000 students' visas. Interagency meeting to fashion out federal government's response. Now, my response to this is to ensure that the federal government does everything possible to make this country, should I say, use this word? Forgive me if I use this word, but let me use it. Make the country bearable for Nigerians to stay, so the lure, the appeal to look outside the shores of the nation will dwindle gradually. If the educational system is running smoothly, every other required amenities for citizens are there, the economy is stable enough, prices brought down, food available, insecurity nipped to almost zero, if not completely, which is very possible, then the appeal or the desire for Nigerians, especially the youth who makes up the strength of any nation, would definitely dwindle. And this report coming from the United States, it is really, really heartbreaking And I know a lot of people who have the desire to travel will be troubled by this report. Again, for 6,000 Nigerian students to be sent home after all the money spent with the big dreams that are left with is a lot for families to bear at this time. All right, still on the front page of the Vanguard, 2.2 million poor households to receive federal government's cash transfer. I hope, please don't laugh, I hope I get part of this cash transfer, because right now, you can't differentiate who the poor is, because the report reaching us is that the rich also cry in times like this. So if they don't have my account, I can either say it here or, later. I really do need this money. Okay, let us move on. NGE raises alarm over economy insecurity, media suppression. U.S. British government Northern can laud federal government NSA over arrest of terror kingpins. Revenue Commission begins fresh allocation formula. Okay, paternity crisis. 1 in 4 Nigerian fathers not biological parents, says report. Report, not me. It says a day, August 20th, declared a public holiday in Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Lagos. By-election violence. Police prosecute 333 thugs. Government officials in Kano arrest 10 others in Ogun. 2027, Atiku, Obi, Amechi, I'll stay united without presidential ticket. I take that again. 2027, Atiku, Obi, Amechi will stay united without presidential ticket. ADC. U.S. budget support for Kyiv amid Russia-Ukraine peace talks. All right, that is the front page of the Vanguard as we move away to the Leadership newspaper. The Leadership newspaper this morning happens to have one of our focus of discussion this morning, which is the continuous voters registration, which started yesterday. Now it says, as continuous voters registration begins, 69,376 register on first day. Females top with 35,573, males 33,803. INEC moves to local government areas of physical exercise Monday. Your voter card is your power, Obi tells Nigerians. So stay with us to get detailed analysis of this later on the show. Moving on, a laughing tackles Oni over chieftaincy title, page 17. Survivor says overloading caused Sokoto boat tragedy, page 4. States to get more allocation as federal government reviews a revenue sharing formula. APC, PDP must prove they are not terrorist organizations, says Falano. Tinubu slashes dialysis cost. I take that again. Tinubu slashes dialysis cost from 50,000 naira to 12,000 naira. This is indeed laudable. Page 7. NAPTIP intercepts 25 women in Abuja, foils trafficking to Saudi Arabia. NULGE urges judiciary to be firm on Osun local government crisis. US, UK hail Nigeria over arrest of terrorist leaders. Okay, let us go now to the Daily Independent. The Daily Independent this morning says Nigerians to provide 5-year social media activity, U.S. Embassy. Above the mast, U.S. British government commend federal government NSA over arrest of terror kingpins. Indigenous contractors accuse federal government of favoring foreign companies. Editors express concern over complex challenges facing Nigeria, urge government to address economy, insecurity, governance. Tinubu says Nigeria poised to deliver LPG beyond Africa. Lawmakers propose ranches in 774 local governments, including the FCT. Page 6. Although under first siege of kidnappers, ritual killers, residents charge security agencies governor on quick action. Tinubu arrives in Japan ahead of TICAD-9 summit. You can see the pictorial right on the front page of the Delhi Independent. All right, let us move on now away from the Delhi Independent to the Delhi Monitor. The Delhi Monitor this morning says, prove you're not terrorist groups. Falano charges APC, PDP. Urges federal government to urgently engage immigration lawyers to intervene in the matter. Says if ruling is registered in US, UK, France, others, APC, PDP members may have their visas revoked, deported. All right, above the mast, the NGE expresses concern over complex challenges facing Nigeria. And of course, US hails Ansanu terrorist leader's arrest, says it's significant to Nigeria's anti-terrorism war. Alleged defamation. Nnamdi Kanu sues Imo CP, demands 10 billion naira damages. Page 4. RMAFC begins review of revenue allocation formula. Federal government reaffirms Galaxy Backbone as official ICT provider. All right, let us move on now to the first daily newspaper this morning. First Daily. It says 2027 INEC opens online voter registration, records 69,000 entries in 7 hours. Tinubu arrives Japan for TICAD-9, heads to Brazil after summit. Punishment alone can defeat corruption in Nigeria, ICPC chair. I wonder what else will defeat corruption in Nigeria. Want to find out? Then pick a copy. JAM sets October deadline for 2025 university admissions. That's on education. Vote buying is investment in corruption. Obi warns Nigerians. Okay, up next is the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun this morning. Daily Sun has the paternity story. It says paternity scam rises nationwide. Reports show 1 in 4 children likely to fail DNA test. Very alarming, very scary. US, UK can't commend federal government NSA over arrest of terror kingpins. We have the story running all through most of the papers. All right, let us take a look at more papers. We have more papers. Daily Trust. And let's take a look at the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. The Daily Trust newspaper this morning says Sokoto boat mishap, 3 family members, 23 others missing. Very sad day in Sokoto when this happened a few days ago. All right. Away from the Daily Trust, we have the Daily Times this morning. Daily Times says contractors besiege FCTA over 5 billion naira debt as Wike denies awarding contracts. Away from that, over 3 million displaced by flood insecurity in Nigeria, says the federal government. While we are reviewing revenue sharing formula, RMAFC, this again is one of our core focus of discussion this morning, and please, we want you around so you can call in to have your say. Tinubu arrives Japan. Of course, we have that on most of our papers this morning. Okay, let us move on because of time to Al Jazeera Nigeria. We have Al Jazeera Nigeria today. It says a revenue after 33 years, RMAFC commences major review. Akpabio returns after London vacation. And Saro terrorist leaders arrest significant in Nigeria's anti-terrorism war, USA. Kogi Ododo, ex-Governor Bello Abijide chart a way forward for development. 2026 Hajj Board commences registration of intending FCT pilgrims. All right, let us move on to Observer Times. Observer Times this morning says NNPCL chief hits bags. Ojulari denies $1.5 million bribe claim. Claims attack aimed at undermining NNPCL once against hiding lies on their democracy. Boko Haram founder's son arrested in Chad. Ahmed Ufintiri heads PDP's National Convention organizing panel. All right, let us move on to Voice of Liberty. Voice of Liberty says conditional cash transfers will disburse 419 billion naira to nearly 6 million Nigerians, federal government. Okay. Federal government subsidized kidney dialysis cost by 76% in federal hospitals. Kaduna by-election. Elections are won at grassroots, not on social media, Governor Obasani tells the APC. All right, do we still have more papers? Yes, we're supposed to have more papers. Entertainment is supposed to be here. Sports also. Let me see if those will pop up so we can have it. All right. I guess that's all we have on papers this morning. I can't find my entertainment and, of course, sports stories. You know what to do, the Nigerian way. You can go online to read some of these stories, or you can go to the stands to get your hard copy of the papers, or pay a token to read through or sift through the pages, especially for those stories that caught your fancy. So that is our weather and front pages this morning. We have two forecasts from the front pages of our papers, and we want you to stick with us right from now to the end of the show so you can be part of it. We'll take a break to usher in our guest, and of course, don't forget that time where the phone lines will be open so you can call in. Either way, make sure you stay with us. We'll take that break, and when we return, more.
a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching you live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning. The Blueprint newspaper, Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecasts, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on StarTimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on KAFTAN TV. Stay connected with us.
That he said it is a reason why I will not do it.
I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, KAFTAN TV.
A very tricky one. And then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, KAFTAN_TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world. In a world where information is vital to every individual, a platform where technology is a medium to pass information, you can always catch up on all information written in the newspapers, even without having one. Join us on The Press.
Reaching you live from the Abuja studios.
On The Punch for this morning. The Blueprint newspaper, Nigerian Tribune this morning.
As we give you information and opinions about current events and topical issues on politics, business, sports, entertainment, weather forecasts, and lots more in the local city, across all states, and across all countries. Showing daily on StarTimes, channel 124, 9 a.m. West African time, only on KAFTAN TV. Stay connected with us.
That he said it is a reason why I will not do it.
I pursue the federal government to pay us our damages.
YouTube, KAFTAN TV.
A very tricky one. And then the bottom line is this.
Website www.kaftan.tv.
Point is, the youth must come together. The pendulum can swing in your favor.
Instagram, KAFTAN_TV. KAFTAN TV. Imagine a beautiful world. In a world.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
we blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
Yes, welcome back. It is the press, and I'm glad to let you know that my guests are in-house right now. 2 gentlemen, one new and another one a friend to the house. I want to let you know our topic this morning. Like I said, while we were doing the front pages and the weather, that we have 2 focus this morning: pay raise for political office holders, and of course the continuous voter registration, which of course we get from the front page of the papers. Now, the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission has hinted at plans to review the salaries of political office holders in Nigeria, describing current earnings as inadequate, unrealistic, and outdated in the face of rising responsibilities and economic challenges. At a press briefing in Abuja on Monday, the RMAFC chairman, Mohammed Shehu, disclosed that President Bola Tinubu presently earns 1.5 million naira monthly, while ministers receive less than 1 million naira, figures that have remained unchanged since 2008. All right, apart from that, we shall be taking a look at the continuous voters registration. And talking about that, the registration, if you recall, started yesterday. Again, it is important for us to say here that the register of voters is at the heart of democratic elections. Consequently, the registration of voters is a major function of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Meanwhile, in response to this, the INEC has introduced some technological innovations to the voter registration exercise. These innovations are designed to make the registration processes generally easier and to give Nigerians a pleasant and safe electoral experience. The CVR exercise will commence, or it actually commenced yesterday on the 18th of August 2025. Meanwhile, there is something new, again, beside that. Once you register online on the 25th of August 2025, at 811 INEC state and local government area offices nationwide, you can now come person to person to complete your registration. So these are basically what we shall be taking a look at today on the press, to focus and of course to help discourse these major issues in our polity this morning. Let me do the introduction. First, let me start with Ismaila Babatunde, social affairs commentator. He is the initiator and a founder of Sure Governance Movement, with a track record of mobilizing grassroots participation, peace building, and fostering policy dialogue. Ismaila, it's so nice to have you on the press this morning.
Thank you, Nigerians, and thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And of course, our friend Abdulazeez Idris is a social affairs analyst, is the convener, Abuja Traders and Entrepreneur Round Table. Abdulazeez, it's so nice to have you this morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, we heard that you have a new baby in the house. We want to use this time to congratulate you and your family for the added bundle of joy. We wish your family all the joy that comes with that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, gentlemen in the house, you already have a focus this morning. And let us start with the first, which is the pay raise for political office holders. According to the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission office, they actually say it is time for a raise for political office holders. But when I saw this morning, a lot went through my mind, and I was thinking about the 70,000. Minimum wage. I was thinking about a lot of things. I was thinking about the economy at this time. I was thinking about the call for Nigeria, to cut down on governance, cost of governance, and I started to make the calculation. If I don't know how much is going to be added to this, if it pulls through, if the president Tinubu will agree that there be an increment. You know, a lot was just going through my mind, but I got a little bit calmer knowing that you're going to be here to, you know, let us understand and get a feel of this news just breaking now. Again, with everything Nigeria is going through now. Ismaila, I'm going to start with you. You read this morning.
Yeah,
I really want your feel, your emotion when you saw this morning.
I think it's quite very unfortunate to an extent, but at the same time, I think this gives me wonder that the oath of office that public office holders are taking, we need to rethink it. Are they actually taking that oath to serve their own personal interest or to serve the interest of the generality of Nigerians? Because when we look at our physical responsibilities, and with this current harsh economic realities, it's not really reflecting. The public office holders are not, to me, I feel that they are really, is a sign and a symbol that they are really being disconnected from the masses. They are disconnected from the harsh economic realities. They are disconnected from the inflation that has happened in this country. And looking at even in an era where we are talking about reducing the cost of governance, now, are we now going to say, okay, we are going to increase our recurrent expenditure while our borrowings and debt is already on the high side? So these are things that keeps me wondering that our public office holders, are they really here to serve with integrity, with transparency, with accountability, or they are here to serve their own personal interest? Now, why is it that the RMF CA always come, they always, that reminds me, in June 2023, they entered on this same issue, but Mr. President, in his wisdom, declined this accent. Now they are coming again. Why are they always talking about for public office holders? Why are they not talking for the civil servants? Why are they not mentioning them? We only hear of pay rise for the civil servants when they are now going on strike.
With the NLC?
With the NLC, this is not fair to me. This is an injustice, and it's even bringing about disconnect from the masses. And it's not even ensuring public trust, building confidence on the masses. So for me, I think with this current economic realities, it's not a good sign for Mr. President.
Okay, Ismaila, you started the show with your own analysis. Let us move on now to Abdulazeez. Abdulazeez, you've heard Ismaila. I don't know if you have something different or you have something to add. We're talking about public trust for those in governance. This came as a root shock to me. 2023, 2025, this happening again vis-a-vis the 70,000 naira minimum wage that we have. I mean, I really want your take on this.
Yes. What I would like to say here is that we should all remember that political office holders, they cannot go on strike because they need an increment on their pay, take-home pay and others. But civil servants, who are the majority on the payroll of the federal government, state and others, definitely they have to go for strike before their salary
it's a tug of war.
Will be increased. It shouldn't have been that. I'm sure in Ministry of Labor, they have a system whereby every either year or month or whatever, there's a step or there's a time that increment on salaries has to come. There must be an increase, or there's a plan for it to be increased to so time or amount after a certain time. But it's not being followed. Now, we are talking about political office holders. If you look at, from what I read, the Revenue Mobilization Fiscal Commission, what they're talking here is that this pay has not been increased since 2008. Meaning what they're trying to tell you here is that it doesn't commiserate with the current realities of today. For example, what they have been paid. As this is, they are talking about the basic. This is just a basic salary. You know, for you to think that president is being paid 1.5 million as a basic salary. Even to you as a household, for example, if it is just within that 1.5, for example, if you say you're only collecting basic, definitely you know it will not be enough for you, especially living in cities like Abuja, Lagos, and so on. But what are the other allowances that are within that cycle of
I was just coming to that.
Yeah, so those allowances are, there are allowances that are, some could be even 10 times, some even 20 times.
You have newspaper allowances, you have clothes allowances, you have fuel allowance. They don't buy fuel. You have, they don't pay house rent.
Yeah, President travel. There's Estacot. That Estacot is very solid.
So that's the question.
Yeah, so now, for us to be able to understand the two different things, so that salary, basic salary is different from allowances. I'm reading yesterday, I now come to find out that there is a table that I read where it says that only 109 senators of Nigeria, they are going with the equivalent salary and allowances that can be able to pay 7,500 professors, academic professors in universities, 7,000, and it's just within 109. You understand? Just Senate only. We're not talking about House of Reps. Are you with me? So now, what you need to look at, why should be this so much gap? Why? One major reason, maybe many people will think of, political office holders are there for just a while, for a tenure that will come today and go tomorrow.
So what does it mean? Because they're going to be there for such a short time, they take salaries that will amount for years to come.
Yes, there are so many things to look at here. You understand?
Please explain.
Fine. One thing, number one, when you are giving somebody an office to hold politically, you have to first of all consider the fact that you want to give him that office for him to be faithful and sincere, so that he will not dip his hands into public funds.
That's one of the reasons that the chairman of the RMAFC actually said, Mohammed Shehu, that was one of the reasons that he gave that for wanting the increment in salaries of political office holders, that if peradventure their salaries are not raised, or salaries should be raised, so they do not put their hands into illegal things. But I want to bring in Ismaila at this point. Ismaila, I don't know, you've heard what Abdulazeez said, and I would want your reaction to that, because do you think at this time increasing the salaries will make whoever the focus is on not to dip their hands into illegal things? Do you think that is a reason enough for the ROMAFC chairman to say that it is time for an increment for political office holders?
I think my take on this would be, I quite sympathize with the public office holder, but then it's a service to the nation, not a place that they should expect something in return per se. So what they are having now, for me, if you take an average Nigerian and bring out one political office holders and let's just compare, you see the clear difference between the gap is very, very wide. So it's not ideal, not that I am not totally against them not increasing their fare, but it's not in these current economic realities. Because Mr. President is trying to give us this reassurance of the renewed hope agenda and giving us all this assurance and trust. But then the public office holder, they should show sign in aligning with Mr. President. Because I think last week there was a newspaper review that our economy is achieving stability. and now we need a social safety net to cushion the effect and all
the
of
president
this.
was advised to do that.
For me, I'm expecting that the public office holders, all of them are coming up with different programs to empower the youth, the women, the people with disabilities, reach out to people at the grassroots and see how they can improve their livelihood and all of that. But in many occasions, we see nothing of this. Now, what they've been giving, those in office, how can they justify how they've been utilizing these public resources? Even for me, even if their pay is being increased today, there will still be no difference because there is no accountability from these guys. Okay. They are not giving us accountability, so we don't have, Nigerians are not, percentage of Nigerians that have trust in public office holders are just very, very minor. So for me, I think they should work on rebuilding public confidence and public trust, ensuring that the civil servants and entrepreneurs are well taken care of. Our health system is really going bad. Our education the standard is going very low. I think we need to prioritize some of these things instead of prioritizing their own personal welfare and upkeep. So for me, and that is why some of us in the short governance movement are advocating for a single term. And also, sometimes the governance structure in the country needs to be rethink, and we need to refocus the way we do our things in this country. We need to be, fiscal responsibility needs to be prioritized. We need to see what priority are we setting and how do we hold these people accountable, to be accountable, and they should also give account of their stewardship while in office. Yeah.
All right, if you just joined us, it is the press where we're taking a look at pay raise for political office holders and, of course, the continuous registration, continuous voter registration. We'll take a short break to return and open the phone line so you can call in and be part of the conversation. We've had a couple of calls, but now we're going to open the lines early today so you can call in and be part of the discourse. We'll take that break, and when we return, more for you. Stay with us. Yes, welcome back once again. The phone lines are open right about now. Those calls can come in and we can pick them as we take a look at a pay raise for political office holders and continuous voter registration. We're still on the pay raise for political office holders, so we'll continue with that before we go to the next point of discourse today. And I'm going back now to Abdulazeez as I try to wonder why. Okay, we have our first caller. Let us take that call this morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is George.
George, where are you calling from, George?
Calling from Cross River State.
Ooh, that's very far away. Thank you so much. Yes. So, George, go ahead.
Yes, I am, in fact, my heart is bleeding as I am calling. I am not happy at all to hear that politicians are yearning for a pay rise. This is an insult on our sensibility. Civil servants are here, we are still battling on the minimum wage that they approved. The federal government has approved 70,000 minimum wage. That has gone so viral everywhere and things have skyrocketed in the market. And until today, they have not been able to pay that 70,000 minimum wage. And politicians are aware and they are keeping quiet. and they are there agitating for a pay rise for themselves. Politicians should come and take the same pay civil servants are taking. They should place them on levels and grade them based on their qualifications and pay them this minimum wage we are collecting. So that let us see if they will work and be happy to work as politicians. Because what they are doing, they are not even acting as servants. They are supposed to be servants. We are supposed to decide what they are taking. But rather, they are loading themselves on us and then rubbing shit on our faces. They say minimum wage. If I tell you as an assistant director in service, the new minimum wage that they approve is extra 10,000 naira I see as an additional from the money I was collecting. And they say they have implemented the minimum wage. A current senator is collecting more than a director, is civil servant director. A current councillor. A councillor is collecting more than a director in civil service. What is their qualification? Some of the councillors are not even degree holders. So I am suggesting that instead of them increasing their money, they should grade these politicians, place them on minimum wage, and pay them as they are paying civil servants.
Okay, thank you, George. So you heard that, Ismaila, Abdulazeez. I want you to react to this. This first caller saying that they should be placed on minimum wage also. They should be graded. No preferential treatment. Again, we put them there to serve us. We put these people there to serve us, to serve. So I want you to react to George's comments or suggestion.
You know, it's very disheartening that in Nigeria we will talk about minimum wage. Minimum wage will not be agreed with labor, but implementation is always difficult. We find out that after agreeing within a certain to be a minimum wage, now you can imagine, as a deputy director, he said the only increase he saw
10,000 naira.
So that means you are given with the right hand and you deducted with the left hand, meaning you are not getting anything again. Meanwhile, when we look at the current economic realities, really, this is very, very, it's very annoying, you know, for somebody to say, yes, they have increased my salary,
and you don't
now
see
this is what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Now,
please just hold on a moment, dear. Okay. Hold on, let's take another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, what's your name, please, and where are you calling from? Okay, comrade from Abuja, what's your name?
Yes, comrade, I'm calling from KAFTAN-1, Mpape, Abuja.
Please go ahead with your comments.
All right. I like myself with what the first caller said about Nigerian politicians. They should come up, I think they should come up with a bill to make all their payments equal. Nobody is doing anybody a different favor. I'm not saying the favor. And if they feel that they are doing us favor, then they should use their money and do us the favor by using their money to create roads, which we have not seen before now. Them doing it, except some of our musicians and the rest of them. Two, one of your guests before said something about our leaders being disconnected with the citizens. That is clear. Our leaders today don't know what is happening in the rural. They are so disconnected. They are not even on ground. They are not on ground. One thing they believe that when the time comes for election, they will use their money, use their men in the streets to get power. If I tell you the kind of corruption that is going on in Abuja with this AEDC, do you know that AEDC will just come and look roof? They will build you maybe one single room, like a room, toilet, and kitchen. They will build you 150-something thousand. When federal government asks them to, I think, fund them to give it to meter people, they don't meter people. They sell the meter. You understand? So now they will look at your roof. Maybe your roof is big. They will bill you 788,000. Meanwhile, the minimum wage is 70,000, which they have not even paid. So our leaders is so disconnected, and that is why you see people going into crime, doing all manner of things to survive. We don't have leader in Nigeria. We will have positions.
Okay, thank you so much. Before I go back to Ismaila, I want you to conclude. Again, you had another caller called in.
True.
So
you see,
your line of thoughts.
We have a commission called National Wages and Income Commission, which is meant for their work to structure the type of salaries that in every sector need to be either health, education, or wherever need to be the salary of those workers there. But as far as political office holders is concerned, I don't think that responsibility still rests with them. But if it rests with them, then definitely, as the past caller said, there's a need for us to have a structured salary. Even if it doesn't say, okay, their minimum wage will be different, because maybe some of the reasons they will give, because as I said, for them to be curbed away from illegitimate transaction in office. And as well, we knew most of them, I could remember there were good politicians. Not all politicians are bad. Some of these politicians, if you go to their houses, either in the village or here in Abuja, you see people are trooping there, and they take care of people. But some doesn't do. There are some that when they come to Abuja, the next time you see them around when it's election time. There were just some of them. But some of them do try their best to ensure that, yes, they carry their people along. But many of them, yes, really, they are entirely disconnected with the reality and what is going on there as a rural area. But this man, the last one where he was talking about AEDC, that one is a subject of AEDC problem. It has become a very serious problem in Nigeria right now. Okay. Because I'm speaking to you right today, what remained for AEDC to do was just to be carrying gun and be shooting people in the house. That was the only thing.
Okay, let us take this call. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please, and where you calling from? What's your name, please, and where you calling from? Okay, go ahead. Okay, that call, we can hear anything. Okay, Ismaila, let me get back to you. You've heard the callers call in.
Yes.
Suggestions have been given that, these political office holders should be placed on minimum wage. They should be graded. There shouldn't be any preferential treatment.
Yes.
The first caller said his heart is bleeding. I told you my confusion when I saw the front page this morning. Yes. So I want your reaction. Do you think this is the way to go, or there's something different that should be done?
No, they should be. I agree with the caller. They should be graded. And again, why do they even need a pay rise? Public office holders, your drivers are being paid for. Your gardener are being paid for. Your chef or your cook is being paid for. The vehicle, you have your transport fueling allowance, you have the vehicle that is already provided for you. Yeah. Now, what else do you really need? Let's think objectively. What else do you really need? But in another way, I sympathize with them in this aspect, because cost of contesting an election is quite expensive in Nigeria. But then, if we increase these things for them, it will still make it more expensive. So let's make our public office less attractive of incentives, so people will be able to narrow down the way
to consider it a service instead of
exactly, because during some of our advocacy, during our voters sensitization and mobilization, where we are giving orientation to grassroots communities, we discovered that people at the grassroots, they expect that if a politician is coming to their community,
it comes with something.
It should come with something.
Bags of rice.
And all of this. So this is something that also fuels lack of empathy to them by the time
they get into office.
They try to see how they
bought their conscience.
Yes, because
they bought
how
their
they
conscience.
recoup the finances that they've used. There are sources of funding. Do they borrow it? They will have to get some things back and refund to them. But to me, we should make our public office less attractive.
Okay, hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Akwa, Anthony by name.
Anthony, thank you so much. Abadie.
Your call.
Go ahead.
Good morning once again. I want to ask this implement on the legislation. We don't want to finish this country before they do their issue.
You should be answering the question. That's why you called in.
I'm watching you, and at the same time you're smiling.
Anthony, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Cry on air? Remember Fela now, suffering and smiling.
You know, you need to take care of your mental health.
My mental health, you heard my guest, my mental health
is very
important. So I apologize if my smile just too big this morning, you know, so I apologize to you. So go ahead, Anthony. Okay, so Anthony is definitely angry at me for smiling so much. I don't know. You can't please everybody. You can't please everybody.
Well, for me, you just have to keep that smile because you have to make yourself happy.
Do you know,
health is very expensive.
Look, when I was growing up, my mom would say, Anire, happiness is a choice. I never understood that poor woman. Bless her soul. Anire. Happiness is a choice, and I got older, and I am living the reality of the present Nigeria, and words just come alive in my life. Indeed, happiness is a choice. No one will give it to you, especially in present Nigeria. Keep your head up and put a smile on your face, and make sure when you do smile, it's from the heart. That's the only way you can wake up in the morning and face whatever is coming. So the show is still on, and I want to give Ismaila a chance to conclude before I get back to Abdulazeez.
Okay, for me, I would say this: the pay rise that you are asking for should be a call to action for all Nigerian youth, because Nigerian youth makes over 65% of Nigerian population, including men and women. It's a clarion call for them that they should step up and take charge of their future.
Now, talking about the Nigerian youth taking charge of their future, is it that the Nigerian youth is complacent? Is it that the Nigerian youth, for me, I have said this over and over, and it's not something that I'm just mouthing. This is the greatest nation on earth. This is me. This is the greatest nation. If we go by statistics, this is the biggest black nation.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world. And we live up to standard because our people are intelligent. We break ground everywhere we go, in education, anywhere the sun rises and sets. Nigerians, once they step in there, they take charge. Look, quote me if I'm wrong, everyone in the world wants to be a Nigerian. Right now. Everyone wants to identify with Nigerian. Go on social media. Your mind will be blown away. Look, when you're sad, go to sites where people all over the world talk about you as a Nigerian. You will snap out of that boredom. You snap out of that depression that you're in, because this is the greatest nation in terms of population, in terms of resources, in terms of weather. Name it, we have it. So, as Abdulazeez, what is the problem? The Nigerian youth back home, I'm not talking about the ones in diaspora, do you think that we're not asking enough of our leaders in terms of accountability? Do you think that there is a problem that we need to check ourselves as Nigerian youth to ask more of what, not the other way around?
I think the Nigerian youths, they have on several occasions raised their voices. It's just that it is very unfortunate that some of their voices are not being heard. The only time they were listened to, maybe it is when election is about coming. I could remember, it's not far away from us, there was a protest in August last year, which is part of the voice that Nigerian youth raised. There were many of it. Just recently, you can see Shore from one place to another protesting, and others. Just what do we need? So all we needed was for the both the political officers, the federal government, to come with a scheme. You know, though I know in education now they have started to gradually making a change by giving skills that they wanted to ensure that people right from secondary school down to university, you must acquire skills. That's what our Nigerian youth need first. But at the same time, despite paying, NELFON paying university, school, sponsorship and whatever, there's a need also for Nigerian youth council to come with one scheme that will ensure that those youths at the grassroots, they were benefiting from, after the skills acquisition, you need to have a good training. After that training, then what you needed was, you need a very good capital to start a business. That will change everything. As you said, Nigerians, we have the head, we have the intelligence, we have the brain, and we excel in many endeavors. But the problem is, we were lacking in terms of encouragement. We are not being seriously encouraged. What we always do was, sometimes you just see that what people trying to do was that, how can I survive?
Survival.
Survival. You are not talking about how can I initiate or innovate.
That's a terrible corner to put any human being.
Yes.
That's a terrible corner to put any human being.
That's why
where
people
you
are
get to a level where
innovations.
survival is the only thing in the head.
Yeah.
Is the only dream. Is the only push. Is the only existence. You wake up in the morning, the minute your heart begins to beat, as your eyes open, is survival in your mind. And I tell you, for a Nigerian, that is too much appeal to swallow, too much a load to carry on the head. Now, I did not want us to waste too much time on our first topic, because we have another. We're still expecting our calls to come in. Now, we're taking a look at. We're done with the first focus, which is the the race for political office holders yesterday, 18th August. And of course, it is important because on the front page of the Leadership newspaper, it says, as continuous voter registration begins, 69,376 register on the first day, which is yesterday. But females top with 35,573, while males 33,803. Before we go deep in, from the top, again, the women are at the forefront. The women are the ones, for me, we push the wheel of democracy. We are always there at the forefront. During election period, when you go out, you see more women than you see men. Again, they're at the forefront. As the portal was open for the continuous registration. But when it comes to position, when it comes to affirmation, we always at the back burner take statistics of what is going on. Again, let's not forget the woman whom the National Assembly has turned into an Amazon. You're giving her wings like an angel, and women come out again. They've done it again. I really want your take as a male. I want you to be fair. Women again are at the forefront as the portals are open.
I think this is quite commendable for Nigerian women to come out in mass. At the same time, I'll also charge them that they should team up. The only thing, for me, the way they could really be able to be there in that position is for them to team up. Because, in the role of political space like this, there is a lot of disadvantage for women, because sometimes some of the meetings are held at late hours, and also resources, financial resources, other form of manpower also is lacking for women. That is putting them at the disadvantage angle. So that is why I said that they should come up as a team. Women supporting women also, they should team up so they could be able to have a good representation. And again, we also need to understand that we have the birth rate of women in the hospital. I saw a report, I think I've forgotten, out of 10, 7 are female, while 3 are male. So what this means is, in matter of couple of decades, there will be more women in the population more than the male. So it is good for them because they have a good number of demographic that they could use to push their vote, to push their ballot into the system. And again, women should not sit and relax and expect that appointments or public office will be handed over to them in a platter of gold. No. Even for the men, they still slug it out. It's not being given to them. It is being fought for. It is being campaigned for. So women should also be ready to wrestle this. Although there's a gender bill at the National Assembly that they are looking into an act to see to have a special reservation seat for women. But then again, for me, that to an extent is okay, but then for me, I think that should even go to people with disability, because there are people that we need to put into consideration. The albino, the other forms of disability, because these are people who are naturally disenfranchised from certain things. So those are people that we should look at. But for the women, all they need is just a teamwork. If they could pull up resources together and they fight this. In fact, if they put them side by side with some men, they will defeat handsomely. Then again, we also need to strengthen our voters, the INEC, the act that established the INEC to see, so that there will be more increase in transparency and accountability. So by then, you will see that there will be decline in voter apathy and there will be less inducement. So more people will be able, more women will be able to emerge as the flag bearer and candidate of their own party and eventually a winner.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Abdulazeez. Democracy or democratic election is like voters registration is the heartbeat of democratic elections. The portals were open, talking about accountability, talking about strengthening INEC, as it were. This time around, some technological innovations have been introduced by INEC to ensure that everyone is carried along, and that is the online registration. We started yesterday, but by the 25th of August, they'll have the ability to complete the registration. So INEC, to the best of your knowledge, like Ismaila has said, do you think that this new innovation will make a difference and a change, towards, reducing voter apathy, encouraging more people to register, so their vote, which is their power, will be established come any political times or era in Nigeria?
Yes, at this point, I think we need to commend the INEC itself for coming up with these new innovations. Having that you can now register online is much easier, because at your comfort zone you can register without any hindrance, and you need to do the needful, because we need to encourage Nigerians from the youth upward that people that they don't have voters register, they should try and go and get their voters registers, because this finger you see is your power in democracy. You can vote in and you can vote out. If you have any problem with any politician who is not giving you the dividend of democracy as expected, you can vote that person out. Vote those whom you think they are good and they can do good for you. This is the time, especially with the current electoral reforms, which will also, as you are talking about women, which will also give women more chances to vie for House of Reps, to vie for Senate and whatever. And people with, living with disabilities is a welcoming one, you understand? So, which we need to, not only within INEC or whatever, we too, people, we need to educate Nigerians. It's not about even registering and go and keep the voters card. You need to queue, endure to queue and vote. That will help you to have the dividends of democracy. That will pave way for you to choose between the bad ones and the good ones. Because in Nigerian politics, what we have today is we have some good ones, but majority are bad. And the only way you can be able to vote is your voice now is your finger. Your finger can speak. whether, yes, this you can be able to draw a line. Yeah, this one has performed, this one hasn't performed. So anyone that you find that is not performing, take him back home and allow the ones that are good, you understand, to go in there and do the best thing for you in Nigeria. Here we are talking about especially women, the mothers. You are the majority in the society and you are lagging behind. There's no reason for that. You have to come off. You have to sit up. That's what I'm saying. I just recently discovered that where there are some instances in the world whereby women were not allowed to lead. But if per chance they were given a chance to lead, the lead was different. We have seen what happened in Sierra Leone. We are seeing now what is happening. Is it Botswana? Or
Namibia.
Namibia, sorry. Where the woman is performing. Look at, is it Tanzania or Tunisia? There's a woman also there. Which they are performing. You understand? Sometimes women do good. For example, we were just talking about this lady that just came to see President presently, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. When he visited President, he said, yeah, you stabilize the economy, but you need to come up with this social security net.
Yes, yeah.
So that to cushion the effect of this. Look, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, for example, let me just use her as an example for women, as a model. Nigerian women need to look at that woman because the woman is an icon. She's a woman of substance.
She's consistent
by her words.
By principles.
By principles. Remember when he was a minister of finance, what happened? Many people read from her book, even though those who cannot remember what happens. That woman is the only woman I saw, he stood along the line of corruption and said, no, you cannot do this corruption.
We have a call, please. This is Mazi Okora from Aro Chuku. Mazi, good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
It's a pleasure. Honestly speaking, my Mazi Okora was my name of Aro Chuku. Now, when we look at this issue of Canadian statement, I think there is need. I have seen the report by the Foreign Affairs Minister. That one does not make strong backing for that court. What I want Nigerians to do this, I'll be saying is, let us see income. Let us go to the court. We have seen what all of that. We should go to the court because if INEC and political parties will come back and see that the politicians think that do the needful, it will help us. Because, my sister, let me tell you that or not. If you go outside this country, you see how they treat Nigeria for bearing that their name in their what type of crime have we committed? Look at what is happening to Nigerians in South Africa. Look at what is happening in Nigeria in Libya. And Libya, give up that yesterday after. If you go to Benghazi in Libya, I see what Nigerians are facing. And when you come back, you start asking yourself, crime, or what type of thing have you done? That is why to people. Running outside Nigeria, go to other country, does not better sit down here. Anyway, that God say, go, stay, you stay. But
thank you, Mazi. That's how much we can take on your call. Please, when you call in on the show, just 60 minutes, 60 seconds, I beg your pardon, 1 minute, 60 seconds is all that we'll get to you to quickly let us get a feel of what you want to tell us. I love Mazi. You know, most times when Mazi comes up with his own topic.
At least now he's talking about the Canadian.
Exactly. Yes. So thank you, Mazi. We appreciate you so much. Because we're almost running out of time. We have barely 5 minutes to go. I would just want to give fair time, share the time between you and Ismaila. Ismaila, let us round up on the two focus that we've spoken on this morning, which is the pay rise for political officers and, of course, the continuous voters registration. Just give us what you really want to tell us before I come back to Abdulazeez to round up.
I think for me, for the continuous voters registration is a commendable effort, and I want to hold all Nigerians to come out to enroll for this. While I will also encourage the INEC that they could do better. Aside from just saying that we should register online, they will now still travel down to a place or go to a place where there is a registration center, they could have a mobile registration clinic vehicles that they could take to rural areas, rural communities, because these are people who are very poor. Some of them, before they would transport from their communities to the local government where there is a INEC registration center,
that's a lot of cost.
It's a lot of cost considering the harsh economic realities
and of course,
for
insecurity.
Today. Also insecurity. So these are factors that I believe INEC should have looked into, but well, I don't know, maybe or maybe not. Maybe they've put something of such in place, which we don't really know. But then again, access to internet connectivity in rural communities too, is also a factor to also consider. But then again, I want to encourage every Nigerians to come out to ensure that they do their PVC registration, and not just to register. They shouldn't just register. They should come out and cast their ballot, not for them to get the registration card for the sake
bank or for any other purpose.
Identification or any other purposes. So I want to encourage them, and that brings me down to when I said they should take charge of their future. So this is what it comes. It's not all about, for me, I don't really believe in protest. For me, I believe in dialogue.
So please, we don't have much time. Abdulazeez, you have the next 2 minutes.
From what happened just recently during this by-election, it has indicated to us, yes, still INEC is well prepared and is getting it right. The organization and coordination within INEC, they're achieving a milestone, if you look at it, because this election that just happened has really indicated, whereby election has been done and you can see it clear without any hindrances, no much blackmail and whatever. People came and cast their votes and go. So that's what we are expecting from INEC. With this electoral reform, please, they should try and ensure that Nigerians were not, no one is left out, no one is disenfranchised. Then on the, that's on continuous, on the pay rise, I'm not against a pay rise, but they should do it with a human heart. That Nigerians are still suffering, and we should all suffer together when we are suffering. Yes, when we are enjoying, everybody should enjoy. That should have been the principle on ground.
Okay, thank you so much. If you just joined us, you missed the show, but not to worry. Tomorrow till Friday is a date, 9 till 10:30. And of course, I want to appreciate my guest, Abdulazeez Idris, the social affairs analyst, and Ismaila Babatunde, social affairs commentator. I appreciate you. And everyone behind the camera, Inyai, Sam, my Sam Loco, I appreciate you. Everyone who made it possible. Habib, the editor, I appreciate you all. The ICT, Felix, thank you so much for all the work behind the camera to ensure that we have a successful broadcast. My name is Anire Binitie. I leave on a positive note. Keep your head up. Bye for now.